Governor Pat Quinn is the 41st governor of Illinois, and before that, he was lieutenant governor. He's done many things, but for the purposes of today and all of you here who are talking about caregiving, he has done quite a bit and made Illinois one of the leaders in certain areas about caregiving, about legal support for those in the city, and we're going to talk about that. He also hosts a governor's conference on aging and disability in December. He's made a point of this. He came here this morning to highlight this. We're going to talk about long-term care and home care and anything you want. And most importantly, he worked at the Georgetown University student newspaper, The Hoya, as I did.
Oh, wow, really? I didn't know that. Very, very good. Okay.
I'm also a Hoya from Georgetown. Anyway, thank you, Governor. And so why is this an important issue for you and for the state?
Well, everybody, I think we just heard from everyone who spoke how much it's a family issue. Everyone has to take care, I think, of their family in the proper way, and caregiving begins with family concern. And it can happen to anybody in America that something happens to your parent, and it's time to step forward. And we want to make sure we have a welcoming society in Illinois. We are the most diverse state in the union. We best reflect the population of America, and our state does make a substantial investment in caregiving. We have a program called Community Care that we spend almost $1 billion on, where for low-income adults who need help to stay in their homes, and we want folks to be able to stay in their homes and in their neighborhood. We have individuals who are hired at modest salaries but with benefits and with an opportunity to grow in the job. Those men and women are folks who take care of our elderly population to allow them to have dignity and to have a full life.
If you had a magic pot of money, someone just walked in, as they do to governors all over the country now, right? And say, okay, I have this extra pot of money. Where would you put it when it comes to helping this issue of caregiving?
Well, as it is, our budget almost goes up every year for our community care program. We have a great demand for it.
So you have enough?
We are going to need more money for that as the population ages, and it's a tight budget squeeze at all times, but we always have to keep community care in mind. Having said that, I think it's important to pay those workers, those caregivers, a living wage, and to have the benefits I talked about, and the opportunity to grow in the job and have education and training. So all those investments pay great dividends.
So, but would you, I mean, I think there's some interesting things going on here in the state about trying to keep people in their home where they want to be. And what would you do to try to facilitate that more?
Well, we do everything we can. We have another program. It's a volunteer program called Senior Companions, where folks who are whatever age can volunteer to be a companion to somebody in their neighborhood or someone they know. They aren't necessarily paid. There are some opportunities for education and training and participation. But I think we have a volunteer ethic in Illinois, and I think the heart of America, the heart of Illinois, is the heart of a volunteer. So we want to also have programs that engage everyone in that kind of effort.
And these would be people who would visit people in the home?
Okay. And maybe do things that are necessary, mow the lawn, shovel the snow, listen and talk and read together. You know, watch television together. I think companionship is very important.
What effect will the Affordable Care Act have on this issue?
Well, you know, the first thing is we want to make sure our caregivers have decent health care themselves. And many of them qualify under our new law to receive health insurance through Medicaid or from the health insurance exchange. And so I think it's important to have benefits so our caregivers aren't stressed out, worried about their own health care and that of their families. So it's important to carry that out.
So do you think the Affordable Care Act will help for these tens of millions of people that are taking care of other people?
I think it can. In our state, we got an early start on the Affordable Care Act for Medicaid eligible people. And in Cook County, where we're at right now, this is where the city of Chicago is located, I think the county has enrolled about 115,000 people already in Medicaid. I think we have about 44,000 or so statewide in addition. So that's about 159,000 people since October 1 who now have health insurance that didn't have it before. That's through Medicaid. And a lot of those would be folks who are caregivers. Caregivers have servants' hearts. I think we always should understand that they have that ability to help another person. And service to others is the rent we pay for our place on God's earth. And that's why we have to, I think, make sure all the population, everyone in our state and our country, understand how important caregivers are.
Service to others is the rent we pay for being on earth. That's
right,
nice, very nice.
Yeah, there's many different ways to serve. And I think it is, sometimes folks want to volunteer, just volunteer. It isn't a job for them. Others have a vocation. I consider caregiving a vocation. It's a profession. And just before I came on here, I was reading some of the material, and we want our private companies who have great employees working for them. The employer may find out that that great employee has a parent who they're also providing care to, and we want to make sure our private companies are involved in helping their employees carry out this important
What would you
mission.
like? That's a really good point, because you're basically saying the community, the volunteers, the family, the private. What would you like to see some private companies do to help people in this space?
Well, I think it also can be the state of Illinois, our state government. So we got to really think about how we could carry that out for our own employees.
Right.
And that helps provide a model for private, say we have Walgreens as one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies or pharmacies in the whole country. It's really a wellness company now. And I go over and get vaccinated at the beginning of the flu season. And a company like Walgreens that believes in wellness and has been started in Illinois, it's headquartered in Illinois. That's the kind of company with many, many employees. We want to make sure that those employees know that their employer understands their caring needs and what they need to do to carry out their daily responsibilities.
So you're the governor and you're in charge of the state. So what are you going to do in the upcoming months to make it a beacon for what other states should do in this space?
Okay, well,
even if you don't have a lot of money, what other things?
Yeah, well, I think
do?
there are things you should look at
Right.
that don't necessarily involve lots of public money, but still get the ball moving in the right direction. What I try to do is State of the State is like our State of the Union for the President, and we have a State of the State address in late January. And so, just preparing for our gathering here, and I'm so impressed by how many people are here. It's obviously a topic of great interest.
Excellent people, by the way.
Yeah, they're all
Yes.
they're all all-stars. This is the Hall of Fame here.
Yes.
Yeah, right on. But I think what's important is at the beginning of the year in the State of the State address, lay out an agenda for our people, and we did that last year. We haven't accomplished every single thing, but we have to really keep pushing. I believe in raising the minimum wage. I also think for our caregivers, we need to improve the value of the earned income tax credit, which is tax relief for working people. And I think those are two things that we're going to really work hard on in Illinois. We don't want our caregivers to be living in poverty. We want to alleviate poverty. We want to make sure that this profession, this vocation is honored in our society. And I think the gathering today with AARP and Washington Post, I used to read it every day when I went to Georgetown University. It's a great paper. This is part of education. And all of us in our society, we live in Illinois. It's 13 million people. We're a large state, and we can help educate each other.
We're going to go to the floor for questions, and there's some mics. So if you just raise your hand, identify yourself, and ask a question. And while we're doing that, I just wondered, your mom is alive, right?
Yeah, my mother is 96 years old. She was born before women had the right to vote, and she is definitely participating in voting these days. She likes going to political gatherings. When I can't make it, she takes my place. But she has a caregiver, and her name is Ruth. And Ruth drives my mom to the events.
What's your mom's name?
Eileen.
Eileen.
Quinn.
So
Yeah.
Ruth and Eileen go off to.
Yeah, right. They're a dynamic duo. And, you know, when I won the election in 2010, election night, you know, I'm there with the whole family, my kids and my brothers and all. And there is Ruth next to my mother, right there. We have this great panoramic picture of election night, you know. And so Ruth's part of the family, and I think caregivers are really, when all is said and done, as I said at the very beginning, it's all about family. You know, we're the family of Illinois, and we got to make sure we take care of each other in our family. That's the essence of being a human being.
Terrific. So if you just raise your hand, you have the governor on the hot seat. You can ask him anything you want.
Yeah.
Is there somebody? Okay, right here. Okay.
I had a situation where a couple in the neighborhood, older couple, and they the wife had to go to the hospital, and they didn't have many relatives, hardly any relatives, and at the hospital, the caseworker, I guess, put them in the guardianship office for the state of Illinois, just like that, you know, without giving. And the neighbors didn't know anything about it. And then he came. Get help from me, and I stepped in and took over. But we had a fight with a lawyer to get him back into the my. You know, I became the guardian of him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very harsh for the state to step in without even checking with the neighbors or whatever.
Yeah.
If there was a better way of doing this.
It's an
Because they
interesting
were
point about
devastated.
families that don't have a lot of relatives, right?
So
Yeah,
I wish
that's
there
right.
was a system to go to the neighborhoods and ask the neighbors to
Thank
help.
you.
Well, I think it's a very good point. You know, there is a person called a public guardian that is appointed in order to advocate for the interests of folks. But I think neighbors and friends and family, if family exists, is very important to make sure that the senior, the elder, is taken good care of wherever they might have to go, whether it's a hospital or some other bureaucratic agency, it might be a government agency. And so you have to make sure that I think our agencies are sensitive to the fact there's no question about our population is aging. We have to be very careful of elder abuse and also consumer issues where elderly people are taken advantage of. And so this is really, I think, a society issue. We want our state to be a leader. We have a Department of Aging. Part of their mission, and we have this gathering every year, is to really spell out for all of us what we need to do to make sure we have a decent society. And I think that's decency starts with taking good care of those who are older and who need a helping hand.
We have another question down here.
Hello.
Good to
Marta
identify
Serta,
yourself. Thank you.
ASI Home Care. Governor, I really do applaud your support for home care. You really have taken a stand for that, and we appreciate that. With the ACA pushing care more from the hospital and into the home, would this not be a great time to create a unit rate increase so that we can respond to the increasing need due to the ACA?
Well, that's why I'm for pension reform in Illinois. This is an issue that goes perhaps, you know, it's a very important thing for our state budget. We have a $100 billion public pension liability. And next month, I hope we can resolve it. And if we do, I think we'll have more resources for our education, for our human services, including our caregivers, for public safety. So, you know, when you deal with a budget, a huge budget like the state of Illinois, it's a very, very large corporation, basically a public corporation, we have to attend to the budget. And when I became governor 4.5 years ago, you know, I got sworn in on January 29th. One governor, former governor, was in jail, and another one was going to jail. So it wasn't a very easy way to start with a huge budget deficit. But, you know, we understand the importance of banding together for causes we believe in. And this is a cause I believe in. That's why I'm here. I believe in taking care, and that's what caregivers are. They take good care of those we love.
Why is this issue important to you?
Because I think it's really a mark of our values. You know, our budget reflects our values and also how we behave. towards our parents and towards those who are older than us who laid the foundation. You know, we just had Veterans Day on Monday, and I was with many veterans who served in World War II. They went through the Great Depression, and then they defeated totalitarianism. And you know, these men and women are the best of the best. And whether it's folks who served in World War II or folks who just are part of our society on our block, I think that's the ethic that we have to aspire to.
And if your mom, Eileen, were here, did she have any thoughts on, would she have any thoughts on what we should do for caregivers or older people?
Well, I think she believes in taking good care of older people. Yes, she's a strong, hearty advocate of that. My mother, you know, I think my mother has been, the fact that I've been in public life a while, but she likes socialization. She likes going to gatherings. I'm sorry she's not here this morning because, you know, part of, I think, caregiving is having that opportunity to talk to somebody, to visit, and to go to events. It inspires you. You know, I was at the Masters game with my kids. This is almost 20 years ago. The Masters game is the kind of Olympics for different age groups. And this fellow who was 93 years old set the record for shot put for those between the age of 90 and 95.
Was there a big pool of people doing this?
He was there, and he threw the shot put 13 feet. And then the next week, I was watching Jay Leno, and there he was. He was on, the world champion Masters shot putter. But he was talking about the fact, well, he was in an institution, kind of, you know, just didn't have a lot of things to engage him. Then he got involved in this whole mission, this whole activity, and, you know, his health is better, he feels better, and that's the way to go.
It's critical point that you've just brought up about not being isolated and getting people to bring you out. My mom is the same way. Okay, one last question here.
I have more of a comment. My name is Giovanna Fawcett, and I'm a full-time caregiver to my mom who has Alzheimer's. I just want to thank you in the state of Illinois for what you guys do. Or I'm here, I'm a resident now. I moved back home 4 years ago to take care of my mom. I just want to thank you for what you do, because when I share this with other people who are going through similar challenges, I tell them to go to their state, and they've gone to their state, and despite the fact that we're in such financial difficulty, we're still there for our seniors. So I just want to say thank you so much, because it's helped me. Because I spend like 120 hours a week caregiving for my mom. And
well,
usually she's here with me. She's not here today. She's in daycare. Thanks to you guys. So thank you once again.
Well, thank you. I'm really glad you came back to Illinois. You know.
And I have one last question for you. So when you're 90 and in the Olympics for the Masters, which is your sport going to be?
Well, I was a runner in high school, and I play basketball still today, but I'll still be governor by that time.
And in this is a blood sport in this city, right?
Politics ain't beanbag in Illinois, that's for sure.
Okay.
All right? Okay.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.
All right.